And I actually don't think that, because I think a lot of it is calculated. I think she knows what she does to a certain extent, to where she likes to get a rise out of people, and she knows she has a following.
Self-hurt and self-hatred within, and then she exudes it out. Like, they always say, people display their worst behavior when they don't understand themselves.
So let the public decide for themselves what they believe, but at the end of the day, we build a platform and a stage for people to come and show a side of themselves where they don't take themselves too seriously.
When Azealia Banks decided she was going to blame DC Young Fly for his baby mama's death, she didn't know, or maybe she did know, she was going to get a lot of negativity from the public. But Nick Cannon's past comments have shown the shocking truth of who Azealia Banks really is.
And I actually don't think that, because I think a lot of it is calculated. I think she knows what she does to a certain extent, to where she likes to get a rise out of people, and she knows she has a following.
According to Nick, Azealia Banks has a tendency of projecting her feelings out of her alleged mental state, and also the fact that she knows she has a fan base that would support anything she says, regardless of how controversial it is.
Azealia Banks sends DC Young Fly a mocking message on her Instagram, strongly insinuating that the death of Miss Jacky Oh is connected to her as payback stemming from her long-held beef with DC Young Fly.
So recently, after the unfortunate demise of DC Young Fly's baby mama Jacky Oh, Azealia Banks decided to mock DC Young Fly over the tragic death of his partner, Ms. Jacky Oh, in a vile Instagram rant over a confrontation she had with him 4 years ago. The controversial rapper, who recently also thought it good to slam 1975 rocker Matty Healy, shocked fans when she took aim at DC Young Fly. And she didn't even wait for Jacky Oh to be laid to rest before speaking out just days after the sudden passing of the MTV star Jacky in Miami at the young age of 32. So Azealia Banks claimed DC Young Fly's past behavior and jokes pointed at women's beauty might have made his baby mama Jacky deeply insecure, since there were reports stating the star was in Miami to have a mommy makeover. And in a further offensive comment, Azealia spoke about the irony of Jacky dying on her own 32nd birthday. Now that's pretty messed up for Azealia to point out the fact that Jacky had passed away on her birthday, because in a way it was kind of mocking DC that while he had taken a shot at her 4 years ago, he is now losing his wife on Azealia's birthday while she is still alive. This controversial statement comes nearly 5 years after Banks claimed DC Young Fly had made her cry during a segment on Wild 'N Out, when he joked that the only reason Banks was on the show was that host Nick Cannon couldn't book Cardi B, and she later called the joke anti-black. On the Instagram post, she wrote, "Damn, DC Young Fly spent years disguising his own deeply rooted hatred of self as jokes pointed at women's beauty, projecting his own feelings about his own ugliness unto women perfectly secure in their own skin. Say what you want about my tears. They were pure tears of rage and not at all a sign of weakness, because in the end I won. I'm happy I cried and moved on." She then went on to claim that Jacky Oh must have been so deeply insecure about herself, and that is why she had to go get a mummy surgery, claiming that DC had the nerve to call such a gorgeous woman as herself ugly on national television while a bunch of black people laughed. Then she said the most controversial thing, posting, "And ironically, dead at 32 exactly on my 32nd birthday, May 31st, 2023, in Miami, Florida. You guys are going to learn to stop playing with me." She said that no one knew how much the press from that event derailed the success of her song Anna Winter, which is like saying she was mocking DC Young's loss over the fact that his statement made her song get less attention than she had wanted, which is pretty messed up, don't you think? She also made homophobic remarks, writing, "I came to sing my song and go home, and only at the request of my label. Then the stupid butch queens on stage behind me basically making a mockery of it being a gay song, fake voguing behind me in their durags like they aren't all raging homosexuals." She then claimed that finally the thorn in her side was finally out, claiming that she wasn't blessed with this many gifts, talent, and beauty, only to become a cultural punching bag for a cast of peons who wouldn't have a pot to piss in if they didn't have the court of social media addicts to jester for. The entire event happened when Azealia Banks went on an episode of Wild 'N Out, and shortly after filming the episode back, Banks accused the cast of mistreating her and slammed them with claims of colorism, adding that they made her cry. This news was met with a lot of backlash to Wild 'N Out from her fans, and she even canceled the release of her then upcoming album Fantasy the 2 following the debate. Despite the backlash from Banks, however, Wild 'N Out proceeded to air the episode, and Nick Cannon, the host, went on Everyday Struggle and explained what really happened behind the scenes with the 212 Rapstress, especially the So Petty segment that particularly upset Banks. He said, "It's funny because she actually broke down and I was like, yo, anything you don't want to air, let me know and we won't do it." She said it right there. She was like, "That's very anti-black." I was like, "Yo, that's not what I'm about, but if you feel that way, I'll take it out." He then continued to explain that her reaction might have come from her projecting her inner struggles and pain, saying, "But really, you understand that comes from self-hurt and self-hatred within, and then she exudes it out," the host continued. "You can hear it in her comments, and when she speaks out." He claimed that Azealia probably has had those problems and insecurities of being a darker complexion woman in her community, and the fact that she often talks about dating white men and all that stuff, she's probably not looked at as beautiful by her other peers. Cannon added that Banks and her team were possibly ill-prepared for the format of the show, which sees comedians and guests roast each other because obviously people go on Wild 'N Out to have a fun time regardless of what they are roasted about. Ultimately, what it was, she was just embarrassed, he said. When she came on, it was fair game, so we played the So Petty game. And what happened was she didn't. Whether she was a fan of the show or didn't know what was going on, she was a deer in the headlights. Azealia Banks had also gloated and made fun of Nick Cannon's lupus, and he also responded to her previous attack on his suffering with lupus, adding, "That was silly, my feelings can't get hurt." Azealia Banks has always had a notorious reputation for disputes and backlash, and she even famously launched a foul-mouthed tirade at a flight attendant calling her names when she was unable to get off a Delta plane in 2005. During that time, she took to social media, saying the stewardess had accused her of threatening to sort her out. She then denied that she had used those words at the time, saying she was from New York and would not have used that turn of phrase. It's like Azealia never really learned to watch what she says because in 2016, the rapper was dropped from a UK music festival following her shocking homophobic, racist, and xenophobic Twitter rant against Zayn Malik with her Twitter account suspended. Conceited from Wild 'N Out also talked about Azalia's controversial post towards DC Young, claiming he had asked DC how he felt about her, and DC had said that he really didn't care much about what Azealia had to say since he had bigger issues to deal with. Of course, he has a lot to deal with since he lost the mother of his 3 children and now has 3 young kids that he has to raise on his own without their mother. TMZ had been the first to report that Jackie, whose full name was Jacqueline Smith, had passed away while in Miami for a mommy makeover, something she had hinted about in a social media post she subsequently deleted. Her death was also confirmed by a Biet Media Group spokesperson who posted on Wild 'N Out's Facebook page saying, "We are deeply saddened by the passing of Jacqueline Smith, known to the world as Jacky Oh, a talented Wild 'N Out family member whose impact will be forever treasured and missed," the spokesperson said. Jacky Oh was a loving friend and beloved colleague of the Wild 'N Out cast throughout 5 seasons. The statement continued. More importantly, she was a tremendous mother to 3 beautiful children. A fan on Twitter said, "When DC Young fly heel, he gon' light Azealia Banks' ass up, and I'm here for it." Another supported saying he probably hasn't thought about her since that episode ended, but here we are, years later, and she waited until his lowest moment to come for him and his partner. That's some sick shit. Do you think Azealia was right to air her frustration at that particular time? And is Nick right about his assumptions of her? Tell us in the comment section. Anyways, let's not forget that this video is based on theories and my opinions and should not be considered facts. That's it. Bye.